It was a typical 4th of July in Highland Park, Illinois. People were lined up for the parade, marching bands were playing, and excitement was in the air, until gunshots began tearing through the crowd. A gunman shooting from a rooftop killed 7 people and wounded dozens more during the 4th of July celebration. A 21-year-old man, Robert Crimo, was identified as the shooter. After an extensive manhunt, he was taken into custody on Monday evening and charged Tuesday with 7 counts of first-degree murder. How did this happen? What was missed? Who is Robert Crimo III? Hey everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver, and I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in all things crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Well, it is going. We're sleeping at this house. I have dogs that are really firework reactive. On the 4th of July, people did fireworks, like big banging fireworks, till 4:30 in the morning. And last night it went on until about 3:30. And every time he hears a bang, he leaps out of bed, barking, shrieking, crying. Oh my gosh. Anyway, he has been medicated. He's been swaddled. He has been everything. It's not enough. Anyway, I'm really hoping it settles down soon. My gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. But,
I do hear
my complaints about the 4th obviously pale in comparison to what other people have been through this year. So I guess I should say we made it out safely. We didn't go to anything, but
No, definitely not.
yeah. And how are you?
I am doing pretty well. Fireworks have settled down here some, so I'm grateful for that because, yeah, we also have a Chewini who is terrified of them. And I don't know, this time of year just makes me furious at people for all of the crap that goes on around the 4th of July. I hate this holiday.
I know.
And I hate people that are so inconsiderate of other people. Like,
Yeah.
setting off fireworks till 3 or 4 in the morning? I mean, really? You
Right.
think you have the right to disturb everyone in your neighborhood that way? What a jerk.
Because
Ugh.
of freedom?
Yeah,
Wow.
freedom.
I know.
Emphasis on the dumb.
Yeah, I know. Since I was a kid, the 4th of July made me nervous. And maybe it's our grandma was very nervous about fireworks.
Terrified.
Like terrified of fireworks. Yeah, and so scared of a fire getting started and things. And I don't know, maybe we inherited it from her, but I've never been a fan of the 4th. It just feels so uncomfy to me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm just glad when it's over. The problem for us, because we live in Mormon land, is that the 4th of July sort of lasts all the way through to the end of the month to the 24th of July, which is known as Pioneer Day, which is a Mormon holiday. And then,
And it's
then there's
celebrated almost as big here as the 4th of July
Oh, yeah.
is.
Our parades and fireworks and all the crap. So we get it twice, which sucks.
So here we go. Yeah.
Yay, but not yay.
Yeah. Well, we have a big episode, obviously talking about the Highland Park shooting, as well as some other things going on. And so, Kristi, I'm actually going to kick the mic over to you for our first segment, which is Oh, Idaho.
Isn't it, though? Oh, Idaho. Let's talk about Yvonne St Cyr.
Hoo-hoo.
This is her participating in the January 6th Capitol riot.
Okay.
Yvonne is currently facing federal charges. She live streamed from her Facebook page during the Capitol riot while she's standing inside a broken window, screaming her head off. She's charged with obstructing law enforcement in a couple of different incidences while she was there. She also because you can't fix stupid. Did a live stream the day after talking with her husband all about it, all over social media. You may have seen those videos because they've been picked up all over the place. I'm not playing them because I'm not giving this dummy a platform.
No.
She lives in Boise, Idaho. She is one of 6 Idahoans that have been charged in the January 6th riot.
Mm-hmm.
She was indicted by a federal grand jury in February of this year. 6 charges, 2 counts of civil disorder and aiding and abetting, entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, and parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building.
Okay.
She started out with only 2 misdemeanor counts. But it turns out that when you live stream your crimes, a grand jury will get a hold of those and charge you with a whole bunch more stuff.
Weird.
So, yeah, here's what she has to say. God put me in that window. She was standing in a broken window screaming. So I'm assuming God put me on CNN screaming like a madwoman. So hey, maybe I'm going to get arrested again, but I would get arrested and I would die for this country. So no regrets. Um,
No, darling, it wasn't for this country.
no,
It was for one person.
yeah, it was
Because if it
definitely
was for this
against this person.
country, you would have never engaged in an attempted coup of the government.
Right.
That's not love of country. I really wish people would get that through their heads. That is not love of country.
No. Also, she has a federal public defender from Idaho. So we're paying for her defense as
Mm-hmm.
Idahoans who pay taxes, which I think
Nice.
is rather unfortunate because yeah, we don't want you. You
No.
can just
Yeah.
get on out of here, lady. I don't know. Let me show you the picture one more time. If you're not watching the video, you should probably come watch it because let's just say she was a bit unhinged on that day.
Mm. Or in general. Maybe we could say it in general.
Yeah, mostly all the
Yeah.
time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Yvonne St Cyr.
Yikes.
Oh, Idaho. Oh, Idaho.
Yeah.
All
Indeed.
right, Katie. Well, I am going to kick it over to you for our main case.
Yes. All right. Well, by now everybody's heard, I'm sure,
Yeah,
about the shooting in Illinois on the 4th of July. Seems like one of America's favorite pastimes. Celebrating the 4th got all mixed up with one of America's other favorite pastimes, guns
mass
and shooting
shooting.
people.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Mm.
People are all shaking their heads going, how could this happen? And I wonder how they don't think this could happen.
How is this not happening more? I mean, really?
Well, it did. It did. There were actually quite a few shootings on the 4th of July.
Right.
And this is the biggest, so it's the one that everybody's talking about. But there were a bunch of shootings, which I think is really, really concerning. But,
Yeah.
this is no big surprise. These are the kinds of things that we are seeing in this country right now and frankly tolerating in this country. And so it's terrible and it's really sad and it's horrifying for the families and all of the people involved. I mean, can you imagine the amount of trauma that this situation has poured down on so many people?
I mean, it was a mass casualty event. You
Yeah.
think about how many people just witnessed it, let alone all of the people injured and the deaths. I mean, it's just
Yeah. 6 people died on the 4th, and another person died yesterday. There are still dozens more that are injured.
yeah.
But there's a few things that we wanted to talk about and share and clear up a little bit as well, because of course, somehow the trans community had to get beat up by this. So I want to
You
clear
know,
that up while we're at it.
that
But
little bastard that makes me so mad every time something like this happens to
mhm,
connect these events falsely
mhm.
to the trans community. If y'all aren't watching us on video right now, Katie muted herself to sneeze, but when she sneezed, an earthquake occurred on her camera.
It's
It
true.
was fantastic.
Rocked my whole desk. Oh my
Did.
gosh. Yeah. But yeah, so and here's why. So obviously people were all lined up for the parade. We're watching. Some people had put their chairs out like at midnight when it was allowed to, like done a lot to be there and celebrate. And the parade was just
Mhm.
going on. And then there's video all over the internet of people just starting to run. And in
Yeah.
fact, one of the people that lost their lives initially was actually killed in the stampede of people.
Oh.
There was some of that. I mean, people were running everywhere. It was so scary. What we know is that the shooter shot from above, from a building. We know that the shooter dressed like a woman in a disguise to get away. And we know that the shooter dropped their gun. It fell out of their bag. This wasn't intentional. At least that's what was announced in court this morning. It wasn't intentional. It just fell out of his bag. And he left. He got away initially. And then after they got a hold of the gun, they were able to verify who it belonged to through fingerprints and DNA. And they identified this person, Robert Crimo, as a person of interest. And so there was a manhunt out for his car. Crimo had driven to Madison, Wisconsin, and then turned around and came back. The reason he did that is because he had left his phone there in an attempt to throw off law enforcement.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm going to tell you guys, we are using his name. We're using his picture. I'm even going to show you some of one of his music videos. Some of you will say, stop saying his name, quit making him famous. Bro, it's already happened. I am tired of this. Every time there's a shooting like this, we get instructed that we shouldn't make them more famous. That's already happened, and it's not helping.
No,
It's not helping to downplay who the shooter was. They're still happening. That's not a solution. So I'm not going to play
it
that game
isn't.
anymore.
Well, and also, I mean, we've got to show you some things about this person because he is a walking red flag, okay? And this
Yep.
just keeps happening. And people are like, how can this happen? No one knew. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Everyone
You
knew.
wait till we tell you
Everyone knew.
about this kid. Yeah.
This is very similar to the Uvalde shooter in that everyone around him knew this kid was a hot mess. Everyone.
Yep.
So, a few more things about the shooting itself, and then I want to talk about him. Uh, One of the most heartbreaking things about this is that after the shooting and in the fray, some people found this child just wandering by himself, 2 years old,
Yeah.
and they were able to get him safe and to authorities. And authorities weren't sure where his parents were until yesterday when all was revealed. Both of his parents were killed.
Yeah.
Both of his parents were murdered. His name is, excuse me, I thought I had it. Oh, Aiden McCarthy. His name is Aiden McCarthy. Grandma and Grandpa have picked him up. He's back with and safe with family, but he is now an orphan.
Mm, God.
There is a GoFundMe that popped up for Aiden from a family friend named Irina Cologne. That GoFundMe has now eclipsed $2 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. People's heartbreak over Aiden and his situation is pretty much unmatched.
Is it though? Because if our real
No,
heartbreak was unmatched on
no,
these things,
not
it wouldn't
really.
be fucking happening anymore.
It's easy to throw money into this stuff.
It is. Doesn't solve
It's
a thing.
easy.
I mean, I'm glad that there's help to take care of this little boy, but it doesn't bring his parents back and it doesn't keep it from happening again. That's for damn sure.
No. No, it most certainly does not. The prosecutors said this morning, so he was in court this morning for arraignment, and the court's prosecutors are saying that he confessed to investigators during an interview.
Sure he did. They
He
always
was,
do.
yep, he was given no bond. He was taken quite gently into custody once they finally got a hold of him,
Yep.
which is pretty rich considering the same day police in another town put 90 bullets into a black man who had a traffic infraction.
Yeah.
But as usual, these white male shooters are treated with kid gloves.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I'm glad he's in custody and that they didn't kill him. I am. I'm glad he's in custody, that he gets to actually stand for, accountable for his crimes. But it's just another day in America when the same shit just keeps happening.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about this person. He identifies as Awake, the rapper. Per normal, when things like this happen, his social media got scrubbed real fast.
Mhm.
That happens by the authorities. They will take control of social media and get it out of there as fast as they can because it's evidence. This
Right.
always upsets people, but it's evidence. They pull all that stuff down. So all we have is what people grabbed as quick as they could from the internet before all of their accounts got pulled.
Right.
Some were slower than others because he had a lot of social media,
You did.
and some that weren't the normal, some that you
Hmm.
might not have expected. And so I think that's probably why we got a little better peek at some of his stuff. So we know that he is 21. We know that he has lived in Highland Park for the bulk of his life. We know that his dad has owned a deli there for a long time. We know that his dad ran for office on the Republican ticket a couple of years ago
For mayor.
uh, and lost. What's that?
For mayor.
For mayor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
He ran on a really extreme right wing ticket.
yeah. Yeah. We know that before Crimo's social media got totally scrubbed, that from his Instagram, that he was consistently posting QAnon type beliefs, alt right stuff, uh, trans hate, and other things like that. And that's why people are saying this kid was like an alt right Republican, and the Republicans are very upset about that. They don't want to claim him. I understand why. One of the things that happened is that after he was arrested, a spoof Instagram page showed up. Why do people do these things? Well, this is pretty obvious why, but a spoof Instagram page showed up with pictures of him claiming to be a liberal. It's just not true.
No, and Republican Party, it sucks to suck. Sorry, but
Mhm.
you're creating this shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of pictures of him on the internet. One, of course, there's several of him at Trump rallies and Blue Lives Matter rallies. Also, this in the frog shirt, this frog
Hmm.
and the Sad Boys logo uh, is associated with alt right ideology.
Yeah.
And
Well,
of
and
course, the
so
picture all over the internet of him wrapped in a Trump flag. Now, does this mean anything? Not necessarily, except for that immediately people were trying to say that this was Antifa. Remember the big bad boogeyman Antifa? This was not
that doesn't exist. Yeah.
Antifa. It's exactly what it looks like. And and the reason I just put that out there is because there's a few things that just need to be dispelled, and these are some of them. Uh, there is another page where he had said, "Why don't we just kill all blacks and get it over with?" Yeah, it's what it looks like.
It is. It's
Now,
exactly what it looks like.
authorities are saying that the shooting was random. It wasn't at any specific race or creed or gender or whatever. And maybe that's true. I mean, he shot all varieties. He was just trying to shoot as many people as he could.
Yeah.
But I really cringe at calling this a random attack because this was planned for weeks. There was nothing
Yeah.
random about it. Maybe
No.
it was random in that he didn't specifically kill black people like the guy at the grocery store last month, but there's nothing random about making this plan, about going to the 4th of July parade and picking off the crowd. I'm sorry, but I can't
Dressing as a
accept that.
woman,
Yeah.
as an anti-trans asshole.
This is the
Yeah.
picture. There's some other pictures of him online with pink hair in pigtails. Some of those things are why people are going, well, he's not a Republican. Well, Republicans come in all shapes and sizes. And again, it doesn't really matter if he was a Republican or not, but you can't just write off so quickly someone just because they don't look like you.
Right.
But yeah, this was the getting away costume. However, when he was arrested, he was dressed in male clothing. And that's the other thing we wanted to dispel and clear up. Robert Crimo is not trans. This
No.
was a costume to get away,
Yeah.
nothing more.
Well, and
And
I'm sure just an extra jab at the trans community on his part
of course
too.
it is. Of course
He
it
would
is.
he would love to have, as keeps happening, the trans community drug into this crime even though they have nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Yep. Yep. So, want to make sure that we make that very clear. So, let's share a few more things about him. We do know that in court this morning he received no bond. So, court just ended like 20 minutes ago. We know that his attorney, Tom Durkin, said that he has a conflict of interest and can no longer represent him, and that he will need to apply for a public defender. We know that he has confessed. We know that his gun actually fell out of his bag. We also know that in the spring of this year, he showed up at a synagogue in his town. There's a lot of Jewish people in that area. He showed up at a synagogue wearing a yarmulke, and the security team thought that he seemed way off and refused to let him in.
Good.
That to
Smart.
me is terrifying. Was that the first attempt?
Right.
It was over Passover. There were a lot of people there. I think it's very scary to think that perhaps he's been thwarted already, and this is maybe not the first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
We know
It
that
sounds like it.
he had a manifesto of sorts, but it's all numbers. It's gibberish numbers stuff. We know
Mm-hmm.
that he has the number 47 tattooed on the side of his face. Some people think that's 47 for Trump 2024, that he'd be the 47th president. Other people are suggesting that 47 is a number that's associated with QAnon. Maybe it's something completely different. We can suppose, but we really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has awake tattooed over his other eye. Authorities think maybe one of the reasons that he dressed as a woman to carry out his shooting was to cover all of his face tattoos.
Yeah.
Because, those darn face tattoos, they make you pretty easy to identify.
They sure do.
And of course, we know he's been charged with 7 murder charges, but authorities say there are dozens more charges coming.
Oh, I'm sure. But
Uh,
what about a couple years ago when he was threatening to kill everyone around him and authorities came and he had this huge stockpile of knives
yep.
and they didn't arrest him?
hmm Yep. This happened. 2 incidences happened. The first time the police were at his house a couple of years ago, it was because he had attempted suicide. And then the second time the police were there, yes, he was threatening to kill everyone. And they took a ton of knives, 16 knives, a sword, and a dagger from the residence.
Well, and it was
But,
not long after that then he went and bought guns.
right. This is what kills me. They took all of those weapons. His family chose not to press charges. Later in
Idiots.
2019, yep, later in 2019, he applied for an FOID card, which is a card that's part of Illinois' gun laws. You have to apply for a card that basically makes you known to the state police. Uh, because he was under 21, his father had to co-sign on it. And he did. And he did. I mean, this is another Crumbly situation.
Yeah.
His family knew how dangerous and messed up he was. On the outside of their house, he has painted a giant stick figure of a man holding an AR.
Yeah.
He's been
But
gun
there were no
obsessed
red flags
forever.
at all. No
His
one knew that
uncle
he was
actually
doing this.
said there were no red flags.
I'm like,
Yep.
are you guys all psychotic mass shooters? Is that why this didn't seem odd to you?
It's unbelievable.
Sad
One
thing
of
is,
the
it's very believable
yeah.
because this shit just keeps happening. And
Mhm.
you know, I know from personal experience that it can be easy to be afraid of someone who's struggling like
Mhm.
this. But if you leave them in control and untreated for whatever's going on with them,
Mhm.
this is the shit that happens.
Mhm.
You got to buck up and be brave if you're a family member of somebody like this. You're
Mhm.
literally have the lives of other people in your hands.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He actually was a pretty popular rapper. One of his songs had over 2 million views.
Well,
This is what his IMDb account says.
hmm
Bobby Crimo, born September 20th, 2000, known professionally as Awake the Rapper, is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, actor, and director from Chicago. The hip hop phenom is mostly known for his hit song On My Mind, which was released October 8th, 2018. The track has amassed millions of plays so far across online streaming platforms. The 6-foot hip hop phenom Awake the Rapper was born Robert Eugene Crimo III on September 20th, 2000, in Chicago, Illinois. He's the middle child of three and of Italian descent. Bobby began uploading music to the internet when he was 11. The world first started turning their heads with the release of his 2016 track By the Pond featuring Atlas. Directly following that, Awake released his fan favorite mixtape Messages on December 23rd, 2017. The Lo-Fi Sad Boy then went on to release a second mixtape entitled Observer on August 10th, 2018, and an EP called The Future is Dope on his 18th birthday. Fast forward a couple of months, and Awake releases his hit song On My Mind. This is what he thinks of himself. I'm sure he wrote that bio,
I would
but
think so.
yeah. But he has a song and video that I'm going to share a little less than a minute of. It's honestly pretty repetitive, but this is the reddest of red flags. And anyone who was following this kid who saw this, what in the actual hell? Now
Right?
you're going to see a lot of the Celtic knot. He, per normal, unfortunately, sometimes we see extremists take Celtic symbology, other symbology, well, like the swastika,
hmm
and turn it into something else. And I believe that's what this is. There's a lot of argument online about why he's using this symbol so much.
hmm
But it has been associated in the past to other alt right groups. So I don't know that it is or isn't, but he uses it a lot. So let's.
Like a sleepwalker, I am breaking through no matter what. Like a sleepwalker, unable to stop and think. My actions will be valiant, and my thought is unnecessary. I know what I have to do. I know what's in it, not only for me, but for everyone else. Where am I going? I don't know. I don't care. There is no past or future, just the now. It is more abstract than I could ever imagine. I can feel the atmosphere pushing me in. It's unstoppable. Like a wave pulling me under. I can't breathe without it. I can't see or hear what I don't want. I need to leave now. I need to just do it. It is my destiny.
And since you're not all watching, you're listening, the imagery in the video is shooting up a school.
Yeah.
There's many images of a classroom, lots of hand-drawn images of a shooter, of people being shot. This has been in him for a while.
Clearly.
But there was no red flags. Huh.
People don't see
So
what they don't want to see.
that's right. So this clearly disturbed, messed up kid who obviously was having a lot of thoughts towards shooting and killing was abetted by his family in purchasing guns.
Yeah.
I cannot with this. Now, of course, some people will make the argument, well, see, these extra gun laws don't work because they have strict gun laws in Illinois and he just did it anyway. Well, maybe they're not strict enough.
Well,
Guys, he
red
used
flag
a freaking
laws,
AR.
if they had done the right thing when he had those guns, but also
Yeah.
because he had a suicide attempt, a red
Yep.
flag law would have caught him or should have.
Yep. But they didn't. They didn't put those things through the system appropriately because they didn't want
Right.
to. He had 4 background checks from the Illinois State Police on June 9th, 2020, June 18th, 2020, July 31st, 2020, and September 20th, 2021.
And no one caught any of what he'd done because he was not charged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amassing knives and saying you're going to kill everyone is not normal, okay?
Mhm.
That is not okay. That is not a well person.
Yep.
He should have had charges, and having charges would have caught him on that background check.
Yep. Yep. So, paranormal, here we are. Obviously, this created a lot of concern across the country, and there were a lot more shootings that day. A
There
lot
were.
more shootings throughout the country. In fact, in Surprise, Arizona, 3 people were killed in a mass shooting event, and in many other places as well. I had notes of them, and I can't find it now, but there, we are on fire. We are
Yep.
on fire in this country, and if you're not nervous yet, you should be.
Yeah. Well, Amnesty International has issued a warning for people traveling from outside the US into the US
Hmm.
about the danger of being shot while you're here.
Yep. Yep.
The
Oh,
rest of the world is looking at us like, what in the hell is the matter with you people?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good question. What is the matter with us?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Here's in my notes. There were mass shootings in Kansas City, Gary, Indiana, Richmond, Virginia, Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Surprise, Arizona.
Wow.
Yep. And several other shootings in the Chicago area as well that just weren't mass shootings like this. So that's what we know. More will come out about Crimo as we move forward, I think. Uh, but these are the things that we know so far. I think the thing that we have to realize is that when people are acting this weird, they mean it.
Yeah. This isn't a phase. This isn't being a teenager. No.
No.
When weapons are involved and self-harm is involved and harming other people is involved,
Mm-hmm.
that's not healthy. That's
Yep.
a sick mind.
Yep. Some of his more recent songs: "Brainwashed," "I Am the Storm." The profile photo for the "I Am the Storm" song is a cartoon anime character with a gun. "Dead Again," "Game Boy," "Dum Diddy Dum," and others. He's been putting it out there forever. Forever. So there is a page called Documenting Reality found it, but there is a chat room for people discussing death, and he was on it. He was known as
Mhm.
Awake 47. His rank is Master Gunnery Sergeant. This is where I say we just get rid of the blacks altogether.
Was this on his Discord server or was that a different
Mm-mm.
discussion
This
group?
is a different discussion group.
He was
But
all over the internet saying this shit.
mm-hmm. Some of the no, it's called Documenting Reality. And these are some of the threads that he started.
Oh,
These
okay.
are videos that he shared to this group. Brazilian hitman takes out target in barbershop. Savage man laughs in the face of his executioners. Guy wearing body cam executes man. Man executes woman with AR-15 in broad daylight.
Jesus.
Hatchet wielding man shot dead by police. Mother and son ambushed on Chicago highway. Girl attempts to jump on bus. Motorcycle drive-by killing of 2 police officers. Spine breaker. News report hanger. Crackhead cat. Woman set on fire. Electrocuted during baptism. And it goes on and on. These are
Holy
videos
hell.
he was sharing. Videos he was sharing because I think it's safe to assume that he was completely out of his mind over death. He was completely wrapped up in it, excited by it,
Seems pretty obsessed, yeah.
and not in a true crimer way, but in an obsessed way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff I think is also very scary.
Hmm. If you see something, say something. This is the kind of person who should have been reported.
Hmm.
And who was reported
He
and no
was
one did
reported.
anything.
Yep. Well, when the police came and took all those weapons, the family didn't want to press charges.
Well, that's a huge fucking mistake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know. I'm tired of always going, well, it's not the family's fault. Isn't it, though?
Yeah, it
They
is.
are the people that lived with this kid. They are the people who saw this shit every day, that saw all the weird stuff he was doing, these weird videos and stuff. What do you want to bet they weren't even watching these videos or listening to this music? I'll bet they weren't.
Mm-mm.
They were just looking at him like the family weirdo and not as
And
the
looking the other way.
extremely dangerous human being he was becoming.
Yeah.
He had 5 guns. He had purchased 5 guns legally, 2 AR style rifles and 3 handguns. It's really sad to say that it's a miracle that only 7 people died.
Yeah. That's true.
And that death count could rise as days go on.
Right.
There was a physician that was attending the parade, so he was right on scene. He said that some of the bodies were absolutely obliterated because that's what ARs do.
Yeah. That's what happened at Uvalde too, when people have to be identified by DNA.
Yep.
That's horrific.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But everybody should have the right to own one of those fucking guns, right?
Or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. So that's what we know. Again, we will definitely keep updating this case and keep an eye on this one because, well, we have to. We have to continue to cover this kind of stuff and be aware. I think partly because of the red flags that were missed.
Yeah.
Mostly because the people that didn't catch this stuff are now going, oh, we had no idea. When yes, you did. Yes,
You
you did.
did.
But the point being, this isn't just people being weird. It's a whole lot more than that. And we have to dial into that
Yeah.
and pay better attention to these kinds of things. When people around the, country that go, oh yeah, I knew him in a chat room, weird kid. Oh yeah, these are the kinds of videos he posted. Oh yeah, these are the kinds of things he talked about. But no one said anything because people don't want to get involved. His
No.
family doesn't want to have to deal with him having legal trouble.
Right.
And other people don't
They're
want to get
probably terrified
involved.
of him, just
Oh, I'll
perfectly
bet
honest.
they are.
They are
Oh, I'll
probably
bet.
terrified of him and don't want to rock the boat with him at all.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine the hell he's probably raised with his family?
I'm sure that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to sound heartless, but fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I understand being afraid of a family member. However, he did nothing to stop this. Nothing.
Yep. Yep. For sure. So all of our love to the families and everyone, the community that was affected, people around the world that have been affected, and especially to the first responders because this was a horrific scene to come across.
Yeah.
I think that this picture really says it all.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on it, but felt like we really should cover it and talk about who this shooter is. So, Kristi, with that, I'm going to kick the mic back over to you for a true crime update.
You bet. Well, I'm actually coming to you with some good news.
We could use some.
We could use some. So let me show you this picture. This is Daphne Westbrook. Sorry, can't get to the picture. I swear it's here. There we go. This is Daphne Westbrook. In the picture with her is her father. Daphne's been missing since 2019.
Oh.
When she went on a visit to see him, he was a non-custodial parent, and she never returned and has been missing since October of 2019.
Oh, no.
It is believed that her father was keeping her drugged in order to control her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It has taken years and then just it's been awful because her mother knew where she was and knew who had her. She had no doubt of it. She has been released. And so Daphne is actually safe. She was found in Samson, Alabama.
Wow.
We don't know how she was found. We don't know anything yet. However,
Boy, that's a rare event to have a happy ending on one of these.
right. So her father, John, is wanted by the police. John Westbrook. They're looking
Oh,
for
they
him.
found her, but they didn't get him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He is wanted on aggravated kidnapping and custodial interference charges, which may only be the very beginning of charges. All of this, it took the police 8 months to get a warrant to charge John with custodial interference and to get them looking for her.
8 months?
months.
Why?
I don't know. What I know, though, is that is bullshit.
Yeah.
What we do know is that in March, Daphne managed to get a message to a friend of hers saying that she was considering hurting herself.
Okay.
So that got to the news.
Okay.
And so her mom got on the news and said, because they've been unsure. Is she just choosing to stay with dad and not coming back? Or, but there have been questions about him drugging her, which I think has happened before, which is why they were afraid of that.
Oh, my
But her
God.
mom, right? Her mom got on the news and said, please know that nobody is angry. You are so loved. It is not your fault. You are in that situation. This is not her fault. I need her to be okay. I need that. I will do everything that I can to make sure she is.
Sure.
John is 6'4", weighs 200 pounds, brown eyes, brown hair, and blue eyes. And of course, if you know him and want to turn him in, please call your local police because he definitely deserves it after all of this bullshit.
Most definitely do that because he's obviously dangerous as hell.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the fear of having to send your child for on visits with someone who is known to drug that kid?
Right.
My God.
Yeah. Scary, scary, scary shit. Daphne is back with her family.
Yeah, but
We
now
have
as
no
a
idea what kind
teenager,
of.
she's lost a couple of years of her life,
Yes.
of high
She's now
school,
18.
of
She was 16
friends.
at the time.
Yeah, of her whole high school experience. He's robbed her of all of that.
He
And
has.
who knows the trauma that she's been through.
Right. Right. She may be physically safe, but is she really okay? Probably not.
No, she's
The
not.
trauma that she's been through is significant, I am sure. So they continue to look for John Westbrook.
Yeah.
But at least in some ways, it is good news that Daphne is found safe and is back at home with her family.
Well, that's something. Most definitely. Yeah.
It is.
Well, there you have it. It's Wednesday.
Yes,
We
it
will be
is.
back tonight with case updates. We had some funny stories to tell about our camping trip over the weekend. We didn't want to tell them during this episode because this is just too sober of a subject matter to laugh that hard.
It
So
is.
we'll share some of our antics with you tonight on Case Updates instead.
Sure.
Please like, subscribe, follow. Come check out our Patreon over at True Crime Squad on Patreon, where we have 2 years of extra content, all kinds of good stuff over there for
We
you.
do.
And of course, join us tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for the Case Updates. Tomorrow night, the Psychic Hour again is also at 7 p.m. The Psychic Hour, of course, is going to be moving behind a paywall, but not until the end of this month. So
Yep.
come and we'll tell you all about it. Make sure you know how to find it. We're making it insanely easy and insanely cheap.
Yep.
It's just one transition we're making here as we grow here at the True Crime Squad, and that's what's up. So thanks, you guys, for everything. Thank you for following us and being a part of our journey. Thanks for being a part of the squad.
Absolutely.
This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.